Hello everyone, welcome back to the series of tutorials on cybersecurity. I am Deepak Nial and in this tutorial I am going to discuss about variables in shell script. So variables allow you to store information temporarily within shell script for use with other commands in the script, right? So I hope you already know what variables are in some other programming languages like C, C++, Java or Python, and you generally use some variables to store some information like we can store 1 in A, then 2 in B, and then you can sum these two variables like this, and then you can print the result, right? So this is about variables in some other programming languages. If you talk about variables in shell script, it's a bit different in this, and you generally have two kind of variables. One is environment variables and second user variables, right? Okay, so we'll discuss both these variables in a bit detail, and let's start with first one. So these environment variables are used to track specific system information. That could be name of the system, logged in user name, or maybe its ID. It could be used to find out default working directory and so on, right? You can use set command and find out all the list of active environment variables. So here is the terminal. You need to use set command, but when you use set command you will see a long list of environment variables, and it is not possible sometimes to see that long list, so you can use pipe and use less command after that. So it means you are sending output of set command to the less, so it will show you less content in separate window. So you can see separate window has opened now. You can use enter and see all the environment variables now. If you want to exit out of it, you have to write q, and now you're back here, right? And your window is also clear. So this is a good idea to use less command. So you can see there are multiple environment variables, right? Some of them are like you can echo user name or user id. So I will write dollar uid. You might be remembering our discussion from the past lecture that you need to use dollar for accessing a variable, and you can see user id is 0. You can also check the home directory, and that's root. Similarly, you can also echo user like this. So root has user id 0 and home directory is root, or you can say slash root. Clear? You can also combine multiple strings and variables like this, like we can say user info and then use dollar and user after this, and now here is the output user info and root. If you want to put it in single quotes, that will not be a good idea because it is not able to interpret this thing. Clear? So always use double quotes like this. So this thing has a drawback, like you are writing echo and then double quotes user info and then dollar and user. I will just show you an example and then you will understand the drawback. Price is dollar 15, right? So in this case I want to echo this whole thing, price is dollar 15, but see the output, price is 5. So what has happened here? Actually it is trying to reference dollar 1 at this place, but it's not able to find out any such variable. So that's why it is printing 5 after that and not able to interpret this one. Clear? So now I hope you are clear about this, what is the problem with this thing. So what is the solution for this? If you want to echo dollar, you need to use backslash here. So backslash will allow you to interpret dollar sign, right? Because sometimes a sign has multiple interpretation and this was misinterpreted here. So use backslash so that it interprets it as dollar sign, and now it is correct. Clear? And there is some another way to use variables. You can use it like echo, then maybe I want to give user info and then dollar sign and bracket after that and name of variable. Clear? This is also similar to this one, but there is a difference of curly braces. Let's try to print this with curly braces like this, and it's not able to print anything. Why? Because this is not any variable. Clear? So whenever you want to print dollar, you have to use this one. Clear? I will do one thing for you. I will create a variable, user defined variable. So let's make it 15. Now if you want to echo this variable, you have to use it like this, where now it is 15. Clear? So what I will do, price is dollar, and then leave it and see what happens. Now you can see there is some undefined thing. Clear? Because we have used $2 sign here. So what is the solution here? If you want to use the dollar, again you have to use the backslash, and now see the answer. It's correct, right? So that's how we use the variables. So you have seen how you can use set command and see a listing of environment variables, and after that how can you use the environment variables in your terminal. Now let's move ahead and look at the user variables. So let's understand it now. You can set and use your own variables name within the script. So user variables can be any text string, and this text string could be up to 20 letters, digits, or an underscore sign, right? And one more important thing is that this text string or the variable name is case sensitive, and you have to keep this thing in mind while programming. So if you are writing var and var, these two are not equal, right? So these two things are very different and should be used carefully. Now going further, let us discuss some rules. And the rule one is there will be no space between variable name, equal sign, and value that you are going to assign to this variable. Clear? So when you are going to assign some variable, you have to write like this, where, then equal to, and then value here. If you want to assign some string to this, you can write it like this, Linux. Clear? Second thing, if you want to reference this variable, you have to use dollar sign like this. So we have discussed this thing earlier, but for the sake of completion I will write it here. Echo name is, and then I will use this variable 2. So you have to write it like this, var and 2 inside double quotes. Another important thing to note down here is that you are using dollar sign here while accessing the variable, but when you are assigning something to this variable, don't use dollar sign. Clear? Let's take one more example here. You are assigning something to value 1, and then you have another variable value 2. If you want to assign value 1 to value 2, so you have to use it like this, value 1. There is no space here. This is very important. If you keep any space, that will not be interpreted, right? Or maybe will be interpreted unexpectedly. So please keep this thing in mind. Clear? And what will happen if you forget this dollar sign? So we'll run this thing. Till then you can think about it. Now coming to rule third, you don't need to declare any data type, and it's going to be automatic determination of the data types. So it's similar to Python programming language. I hope you have gone through my previous tutorials of Python. So even in Python we don't declare any data types, right? So it's similar here. Now coming to rule number 4, when you talk about lifetime of variables, so variables within cell maintain their value for the lifetime of the cell script, and they are deleted after that. So it means lifetime of script will determine the value of the variables. Clear? So let's go to terminal and understand these things in bit detail. So here I am on the terminal. Let's declare some value and assign 10 to it. If you want to echo this variable, you have to use double quotes, then value 1, and see the output. Now I will do one thing. I will assign value 1 or maybe value 2 to 10, and here is the error, value 2 command not found. You can do some different things here. Again value 2 equal to, and it is saying 10 command is not found. So it is not allowing us to provide any space in between. Clear? So always keep that thing in mind. Now I am going to declare value 2 again, and in this I am going to assign value 1. If you want to echo it and see the value 2. If you leave this dollar sign, it's going to print only value 2, right? But if you want to interpret it as variable, put dollar here, and now here is the answer. One more thing, if you leave dollar sign at this place, what is going to happen? I will show you it in just a moment. So you have to use dollar sign first, then use value 3. So can you please guess the answer? What should be the answer of this? And it's value 1, right? Because we have assigned value 1 here. If you want to interpret it as variable, in that case you have to use dollar here, and now everything will be as expected. So always keep this thing in mind, right? Further, we are going to talk about mathematical manipulations, but I think for this lecture it is enough, and we'll cover that thing in next lecture, right? Till now, if you have any doubt or query regarding any of these topics, or in specifically this topic, environment variables or user variables, you can put your queries in the comment section, and I will try to respond back as soon as possible. So see you in the next video with some new concept. Till then, thank you so much.